All right. Coming back with this little real talk for the night. Hope and pray that everybody has been doing well, for it is another beautiful, blessed day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is part two. Y'all know I was going to come back with a part two. I did the video yesterday talking about as a Christian being a bartender. And I have to come back with this part two because most of y'all know that I am a minister of music and that I deal a lot with church. So I'm in church a lot. And as a minister of music, you'll see a lot. But see, I'm not just a minister of music. And I want to talk about when I was being trained as a deacon and some of the stuff I have seen in church that made me have to get away from churches. And it's not pretty. And I'm not just talking about one church. See, I done been in church all my life. I done seen dirt all my life. That's why I always tell the truth. Now, some of these religious folks might not like this video, but as a minister of music, I thank God where I'm at now because it took me driving all these miles to find a good church home, and I love it. And in the church, I have seen women with women, still do. On the musician staff, you see men with men. When you train as a deacon, you see crooked deacons, you see money getting stolen. So my point is, people always talk about, well, pray before you find this job and or take this job. Yes, I understand that and I feel that. But look at how much mess is at the church when you work at the church. So we got this thing now. We trying to make one thing look better than the other. The world look better than the church, or the church look better than the world. When in reality, it's all messed up. I have seen more deacons go off on so many people. Instead of praying for them, they cuss them out. In all my life, every job I have ever worked in my life, and that's a lot of jobs, I've never been on no job where it was all holy at. Not one. In every job I have ever had, you deal with people. You deal with unbelievers. And I got a partner right now who's doing all he can because he used to be on the streets. So he's doing all he can to stay away from the streets. But he's having a hard time finding a job. Even with people with degrees right now, down here, I know for sure in Dallas, Texas, can't find jobs. Mama JT been looking for a job for almost 2 years. Unemployment runs out. And you can say what you want to, you the one in the situation. And everybody is not on the same spiritual levels. So my point with this video is, I feel everybody. And don't take this video the wrong way, but these churches, not all of them, Lord, thank you. But a lot of these churches are not even going to ever get straightened up. And as a minister of music, as a child of God, it tears my heart up to see what I see. And I'm talking about from the pulpit on down. So when people are pointing all these fingers, trying to make the world look bad, or well, you working at a club, or they stripping, you got hoes in the church. They might not be sliding down no pole, but they doing something else. It's a lot of wicked people in the house of God that's not trying to get changed. So how you gonna draw folks in on the inside when you can't even get the inside clean? You want to claim you going after the outside, but you're not even reaching the inside. And that's why I said in the last video, if Jesus was here walking the earth, Jesus wouldn't have had no problem walking in the club. He wouldn't have had no problem sitting at the bar with a sinner that was drinking, or tax collectors, whatever, like he did when he walked this earth. We seem to forget that, and I know we are not Christ, but why we always quoting we Christians, we Christ-like, or we got the mind of Christ, but you can't do what Christ did. See, that's why I say what I say and do what I do. I learned one thing in my life. I can't make nobody do nothing. I can only do my part and pray for others and encourage each others to do it, other people to do it. But when it come down to it, when it's all said and done, I can't fight for your salvation. You cannot fight for mine. But if people would tend to focus on the Lord and instead of what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying, their life will be a whole lot better. And as a minister of music / producer, I talked about this a while back, about 4 years ago, about being in this production. And I'm talking about gospel music. I ain't talking about secular. I'm talking about the way these gospel artists act, the way they smoke weed, the way they run women, the way they get drunk. See, I done seen both sides. In real talk, I don't know which one is worse. The ones who claim to be Christians or the ones that you claim to be so worldly. Truth be told, everybody jacked up. And it's a daily fight. If you can't die to yourself, like Paul said, die to yourself daily, you're not going to make it. So that's why I wanted to kind of come back and hit with this part 2, because I want to talk from a minister of music, producer side, about what I was saying about Christians and picking a job that's not right for you and how you can get caught up in it. But at the same time, people don't like to tell the truth. That's why I can't get on her and be one-sided about, well, you shouldn't go in the club. You shouldn't do this. I have seen more people reached in the club than a church building. I have seen more folks on the corner crying out for help. And what's sad, they crying out right in front of the church. And you know what the church doing? Stepping right on over them. Come over here to Dallas. I can show you where homeless people are sleeping in between the building, the church. I can show you how the church don't curl. Supposed to be the body, and they just looking over the homeless man. They looking over the man that need help, the woman that need help, because they too busy trying to build a building. And they not bringing nobody to Christ. So that's why it's a job 24/7 on my end. And I don't have to go to church another day in my life to serve the Lord. I know we got all these people out there with these false teachers about, if you ain't inside of the building, don't forsake the ensemble. Man, learn what them scriptures mean before you start quoting them and putting people in the hell because they ain't going to church. Just straighten the church out. Let's have a straighten the church out week. Let's get rid of all these demons and devils in the church. Let's get rid of these wicked preachers and messed up musicians and all these folk. Let's clean the church out and then invite somebody in. How can the blind lead the blind? With that being said, God bless you and God keep you. Peace.